All right. Now there was a little bit of noise behind her, but she very clearly said कि ये बीजेपी ने रोहिंग्या और बांग्लादेशियों को बसाया है. अगर दंगे रोकने हैं तो आप बुलडोजर अमित शाह के घर ले जाइए तो दंगे बंद हो जाएंगे. Go ahead, Mr. Nambiar.
Well, I think Barkha, the politics has always been played out with religion in India, which has been the history of all the political parties. So I won't say that it is one or two. But as Artiji said, that when Aam Aadmi Party came into the existence, and we all thought that it is going to be a party with a difference, it will be the party of the poor or a real Aam Aadmi. Unfortunately, it is not only in the Jahangirpur Danga, even in the 1.5 years before in the Delhi major when that communal clashes took place, you have not seen either the Manish Sisodia or the Arvind Kejriwal on the ground as in their own language, the elected chief ministers or the elected deputy chief minister on the ground, making sure the crowd or the people who are affected, either to make them feel good or even to make sure that there is no problem exists there. Rather than that, in fact, you will be surprised that Arvind Kejriwal is in campaigning in Bangalore and expanding his political base. So I think it's very clear that Arvind Kejriwal and his party wanted to play a soft Hindutva. The minority appeasement, especially, I would rather call it like
I might even agree with you that they're trying their hand at soft Hindutva, but you support the full Monty, as it's called, the full Hindutva. So what is your problem with the app soft Hindutva?
No, I'm just trying to tell you that. See, I would say that if somebody has got an interest on a very strong viewpoint, whether it is a BJP or any other party, be very specific. But rather than that, ठीक है, आपने जय श्री राम बोला है तो मैं जय हनुमान बोलूंगा. हनुमान जी अभी से आज से मेरा है. So the kind of politics which is turning out to be only welfareism and plus the soft Hindutva, and Congress actually tried this. If you really look at it in the last election and before the temple visits and etc., they failed. See, one thing very interesting which is happening across the country is that the Hindus across the country is not ready to take any more this soft Hindutva or those kind of an appeasement politics will not work with them. They understand what is this temple politics. They understand what is this typical welfareism. That is something which you have been seeing it. Also, please note that when Aam Aadmi Party or some of these opposition people says that communal violence, and you have a historian in the panel, you will be knowing that the communal disharmony at various times in this continent is not something new. It has not happened after 1925 or after RSS coming into existence or the BJP coming to existence. 1921, I'm just telling you the historic aspect of it. So there is something called as communal disharmony which has existed in this country for almost 1,000 years. Hindus predominantly are being in the beatings, on the receiving side for a long time, especially after the almost the 100 years of the history. If you
what
really look
beating?
at it,
Hindus are being beaten by whom or what, Mr. Nambiar?
So I will tell you. So I'm just saying. So I will tell you.
Who are we being beaten by?
I'll give you one current serious example. Wherever there is a demographic change is taking place, and please note that this is the real facts on the ground, and you are a person who really travel across the ground and do report. Wherever there is a demographic change has happened, whether it is some places in UP, whether it is some places in Rajasthan or in Haryana, which is the nearby places to the Delhi, wherever there is a demographic change is taken place, there is an issue. So the issue is that a Hindu procession or a Hindu activity or a Hindu, these things cannot happen if there is a Muslim majority area. Whereas the other way around, if you really look at it from Tamil Nadu to even Maharashtra, if there is a Muslim procession taking place on a Hindu majority area, you will never be able to find any kind of an issue.
Well, what I'm trying to tell you, I need Mr. Nambiar, brief response, yeah.
See, the idea is that where I was talking about from the Aam Aadmi politics, then I told you that the reason why this is happening. If you really look at the fashion in which this, from the last couple of weeks, the one after from Jharkhand to Gujarat to Karnataka, a series of events are taking place. If you really try to coordinate all of them, there are some kind of a real conspiracy. And all these police inquiries which are now leading to Bangladesh and also to the West Bengal, and this is not something which I am saying, these are all there on there in the market. So I personally believe that there is a conspiracy which is taking place. which is not in the interest of the country. And
And
there is definitely, there is no doubt, and I can prove you with one after another the facts that wherever there is a demographic change is taking place, there
One
is a
minute, one
communal
minute.
construct
I
change.
want to say that one of the big sort of urban legends of this country is that one day the Muslims will outnumber the Hindus. Actually, Mr. S.Y. Qureshi's book and even the Pew Research Center surveys, they show conclusively that one, while the growth rate among the Muslims is the highest across religious communities, the steep fall in fertility rates is actually the highest in the Muslim community,
No,
and that the
wrong,
Muslims
wrong.
will. I am not wrong. I am willing to bet you on this, Mr. Nambiar. No.
I had a debate with SY Qureshi ji on BBC just couple of
Okay.
months
Okay.
ago. We had
Okay.
a
All right.
1 hour
Okay.
show on
Okay.
BBC, only me and him,
So we'll have
only
both
me
of
and
you
him.
back. But let me. I don't want this to become a conversation about the population debate because we'll go into a different direction. I think we both of you have expressed your assessments. I have welcomed Mr. Nambiar to a separate debate on this. But Mr. Nambiar, what is this time that we are living in where, as Shalini first reminded us in the program, there is now a debate over whether over iftar parties. So this, this tweet we pulled it out. This is a tweet from the Sudarshan News editor questioning why the military was tweeting about the iftar party. This man has been hauled up. He has been hauled up by the Supreme Court, no less, for vilifying Muslims. He sent one of his reporters into a Haldiram store recently where she started attacking the person in that shop for packets saying कि इसमें Urdu क्यों लिखा है? Actually, it was Arabic. What is this nonsense? Urdu is written on our currency notes. Now, I'll just play this again. I'll play this again so you all know what happened. This gentleman is now targeting the Indian military, which is an institution that reflects, with its Sardhan Sthals and its Mandir Masjid Gurdwara traditions, the pluralism of our faith. And it says, keeping alive the traditions of secularism, and iftar was organized in Doda. And the army is then targeted for this. And we are going back to what happened 1000 years ago. Shouldn't we be worried that this is the nonsense that is going on, Mr. Nambiar, in 2022?
Well, he's one among you. He's as you said that he's a
He is certainly
he's,
not one among me.
so he, at least
I am sorry.
no, as far as I know, that I
I
know
will
Suresh.
agree to that.
I know,
Yes,
I know.
please.
Now, I know Suresh ji very well. The only thing
Mm.
is that he may have his own opinion and he may have his own style of representing it. Yesterday, I have seen in one of the TV channel, which is supposed to be one of the leading channel, they were asking a gali deke kisi guest ko nikal rahe the. So I think that the content of all these people, for an example, he was blamed in the hate speech, wherein the Delhi police had given him a clean chit, absolute clean sheet. Today's all the newspapers have even covered it in a big way. So the idea is that I don't want to get into that particular stuff. The only thing what we are talking about is today. Let's get back to the Aam Aadmi Party and Jahangirpuri. You always claim, a party with a difference always claims that we are a people of Aam Aadmi. We say that we have a elected CM which do not give that kind get that kind of an importance. What made you? You are the one who was all around roaming around across the state and country and saying that I am the representative of the Aam Aadmi Party. When the Delhi, the people in Delhi is going through a communal riot, where was the CM? Where was all the Aam Aadmi Party
Okay,
leaders? I think
the pictures you're seeing on your screen are of
it.
Atishi. One minute, just to explain these pictures, protesting. Can we play them again? If Atishi is protesting the center's proposal to demolish a temple in Delhi. I just want to contextualize these pictures. So Captain Shalini is saying many would ask, Miss Marlena came onto the streets against this. Why not also come on the streets? I'm not saying don't come on the streets for this. Why not also come on the streets for the poor Hindus and Muslims of Jahangirpuri?
the
So
the
that's
the
it.
the MP of that particular place. I'm just missing his name. He was there on the
Hansraj
same
Hans.
day. Hans was
Hansraj
the
Hans.
20 the whole night and the whole night the
Hansraj
day
Hans
that
was
happened.
there. I said
Absolutely.
that in the beginning. Mr.
Yeah,
Hans was there.
he was
He was
there,
actually
and
there. Yes.
many local BJP leaders were there to
You can
ensure.
see him there. You can see
Yeah,
him, Mr.
and he was
Hansraj
there.
Hans.
In fact, I was there on a show on the next day morning. Next day morning, I was there on a show with him, and he was telling that I'm still here. The whole of night I was here, and everything has been now calm and settled. There was some kind of a miscreant people. Nobody blamed typically a Muslim or anything. You need to
No,
understand in
no,
every community. No, no, let me complete.
I will
No, let
disagree
me
with
just
that.
finish up my
But I
point.
will
I am
disagree with
only
that.
saying
Mr.
that there is
Yes.
there is a section of people in every society, irrespective of every religion. They are radicals, they are bad people, they may have a sword or whatever it may be in this. But you have to understand, Barkha, this is only a humble request. There is a fashion in which is taking place. Start from Udupi, hijab issue. So, for an example, there is a High Court order. Just see, yesterday again, two kills and gone with the hijab. You know that it is not going to happen. There is a High Court order, they cannot appear. But it is to make sure that there
Okay.
is a relevance,
I,
there is a
I, I, I,
communal tension
so
is
I'm
there
interrupting
in the
you
society.
only because I have a couple of minutes